Talking about what's happening with the tax returns of Donald Trump and his running mate there. The insiders are back. John Leboutier, Pat Cadell, and Doug Schoen are all here. Fox News political insiders. All right, we want to start here on set. John, when we talk about looking at the tax returns that are going to be released, and you know, Trump, they say will be later, but we will hear from his running mate in the next week. How much does it matter?
Nothing. Hence, no one cares about his tax returns, and we're not going to get.
They're trying to give it to us to give us a little something to hang on to.
Well, yeah, but Trump is the one who won't release his tax returns, isn't going to, obviously, and I think it's a moot point. I don't really think the voters who are undecided, I don't think that's a big thing for them.
Is it a big thing, Pat?
Yeah,
go ahead, Doug. I mean, Doug didn't.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I don't think it's a big deal at all. The only way it's an issue is that Hillary Clinton may well fold it into her negative critique of Donald Trump. But let's be candid. This is an election exactly as Pat said. It's about change, corruption, and a different way of doing business. Hillary's got to try to disqualify Donald Trump, which she's trying to do with not a lot of success, though enough to stay ahead, and Trump needs a message of change. If he develops it, he can win. Without it, she will win the election.
I don't agree.
Let me jump in here in a second, please.
Please.
I don't disagree. I think right now the election is she's going to try to run the clock out. I think it's going to be harder with the press because she won't do that. Trump's not going to release his tax returns because it would be fodder for the media, any more than she's going to release her speeches that she did to Wall Street. But the point is, no one has gotten the dominant narrative, and Trump is the independent variable, I keep saying, the initiator. He can make a difference. She is trapped in some sense, and what Doug referred to about money has come out to be less. You look at Wisconsin, Michigan, two states where no ad money is being spent by either side, and that raises like 3 or 4 points in those.
But everybody wants transparency here.
Oh, they do, but they're not going to get it. But the money thing has proven, I think, the reason Hillary's still slightly ahead is because of the massive amount of money she's spending in these swing states like Pennsylvania, Florida, Ohio. And she's not spending in Wisconsin, and her lead has crumbled. So if she didn't spend all this money, she might be behind in this race. And Trump is spending
And that's why she's got 143 million. She will get up to $1 billion and $1.5 billion, and she will do exactly what Pat and John are saying.
And that is the gift. Sorry,
relentlessly.
Doug, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, yeah, no, that's what's going to happen.
Go. I was just going to say quickly.
Because there's no positive
message.
message
That is an issue again
left
back
for
to
the
the Trump messaging, which is that this is a question. She is selling out to all these groups, which people believe she is doing, and Trump is not making the case that he is not the person you can buy, and he would take up a lot of Sanders support if he did that. People don't like it. Again, it's part of the story of corruption.
Well, let's talk about Trump's message, what he's trying to do, the places he's been this week, because there's a lot of action.
I'd say 2 good steps, 1 bad step. I think Mexico City looked great. The tone was good. That event was good. And yesterday in Detroit was A+. For a Republican to go in there, and the tone was perfect. The negative was the speech Wednesday night in Phoenix. We're back to the primaries. We're back to the hard edge. And I think that was, and I think no one's talked about on any of these shows today, the Latino vote, which is a higher vote percentage than 4 years ago. He's doing worse among that group. And that speech is not going to help him.
Doug, what do you think about that? What do you think about his performance?
I think that's right. I think that's right. Trump did himself a lot of good. He's staying on message. He's focusing on the issues and on Clinton, but he doesn't have what Pat and John speak of, which is a coherent and comprehensive narrative of change and corruption to take the undecideds who are not focusing on tax returns. They're not worried about Mike Pence, and they want to know what's going to be done to change a fundamentally corrupt set of arrangements in their terms that are working against them and the American people.
And you've got a tweet about Jeff Flake too.
This is the thing. Just before we went on the air, Donald Trump tweeted twice where he's trashing Jeff Flake. He says the great state of Arizona, where I just had a massive rally, has a very weak and ineffective senator, Jeff Flake.
Isn't that
sad
silly?
Exclamation point.
What did you say, Doug? Isn't that silly?
Well, here we are.
Isn't that silly? I mean, I saw Jeff Flake on Face the Nation. He made some mild criticisms of Trump that would have been forgotten but for Trump doing it.
So why are we
Arizona's in play.
Trump
There was no reason to trash him. Someone should say to Donald Trump, just focus on the Democrats, not the Republicans.
Crazy.
Kellyanne Conway should say that. Bannon should say it. I know Pat, if he had the ear of the candidate, would say it himself.
He's got two opponents. One is named Clinton and the other is named Obama, and he has no other opponent.
No, he's got one other one. And meet Trump.
Trump,
But I'm
exactly,
saying,
John.
come on,
exactly.
John. What I'm saying is he doesn't need to punch down.
Right.
This punching down doesn't help him. He is leading
But you don't
it's a
punch
fight
your own
against
team.
institutions. And if he can't make it institutional, where he has all the range to say what he wants, he gets to be seen as more narrow and crabbed and mean.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
And
we're going to
helps
have to
Hillary
leave it there,
Clinton.
guys.
That's what she does.
Gotta
He
leave it
helps
there with
Hillary.
the insiders. We'll be right back, guys.